On the night of March 1st, 2024, a young man named Jack O'Sullivan joined friends for what was supposed to be an ordinary evening. It was a Friday night in Bristol, a city in the southwest of England, known for its vibrant culture, historic harborside, and lively nightlife. Jack, just 22 years old, was described as friendly, intelligent, and full of life. No one could have imagined that this night would be the last time anyone would see him. Jack attended a house party in the Hotwells area of Bristol. The neighborhood is known for its Georgian buildings, narrow streets, and proximity to the river. It was a typical night of music, conversation, and drinks. Jack wasn't alone. He was surrounded by friends, people who had known him for years. The atmosphere was casual and fun, just like countless other Friday nights for students and young adults in the city. But what happened after he left that house remains one of Bristol's most haunting mysteries. At around 3:30 a.m. on March 2nd, 2024, Jack left the house. CCTV footage later confirmed this. He walked down the quiet, dimly lit streets of Hotwells. The area at that hour is still and almost silent, with only the distant sound of traffic from the A4 road and occasional passers-by. No one knows exactly what Jack's plans were at that moment. Was he heading home, meeting someone, or simply trying to get some air after a long night? The next few minutes after leaving the house party are crucial. This was the last time Jack was seen on camera. CCTV captured him walking in the early hours, but after that, he simply vanished. No more footage, no witnesses, no signs of struggle or distress. His family realized something was wrong when he didn't return home. At first, friends and family thought he might have stayed somewhere else for the night. But when Jack failed to answer calls or messages, concern began to grow rapidly. By the afternoon of March 2nd, he was officially reported missing. The Avon and Somerset Police immediately launched a search operation. They began by retracing his steps from the party, reviewing CCTV footage from nearby streets, and interviewing people who had attended the gathering. They issued missing person appeals, distributed posters, and shared Jack's image on social media. Within days, his face was on posters across Bristol, a young man with short hair, a warm smile, and kind eyes. The police focused their search on the area around Hotwells and the River Avon. This was a logical place to start because the CCTV footage placed him near the riverside. Search teams scoured the embankments, divers entered the water, and dogs were used to track his scent. But despite these efforts, no physical trace of Jack was found. The community response was overwhelming. Volunteers joined the search, handing out flyers, organizing ground searches, and sharing information online. Social media became a powerful tool. People from all over the country began sharing Jack's photo, hoping that someone might recognize him or have information. Jack's family remained at the heart of the search. They described him as a loving son, a loyal friend, and a bright young man with a promising future. Their appeals were emotional and heartfelt. Every day that passed without answers only deepened their pain. The lack of evidence was what made Jack's disappearance especially chilling. In many missing persons cases, there are at least some clues: a phone signal, an abandoned belonging, a vehicle sighting. But in Jack's case, it was as if he had disappeared into thin air. His phone had gone silent. There was no bank activity, no sightings, no messages. The police emphasized that there was no evidence of foul play at that stage. His disappearance was treated as a missing persons case rather than a criminal investigation. But the mystery surrounding his final movements kept speculation alive. Online forums and local discussions were filled with theories. Some believed Jack may have accidentally fallen into the river. Others thought he might have encountered someone after leaving the party. There were also suggestions that he might have intentionally gone off the grid, but none of these theories were supported by solid evidence. The river theory was investigated thoroughly. Divers searched the River Avon repeatedly in the weeks following his disappearance. Specialist teams used sonar equipment to examine the water, but again, nothing was found. The absence of physical evidence left everyone with more questions than answers. Weeks turned into months, and still no sign of Jack. As spring faded into summer, hope remained, but reality grew heavier. The O'Sullivan family continued their public appeals, urging anyone with information to come forward. They held vigils, community events, and press conferences. They refused to let his story fade from public attention.
Jack went out to a birthday party. He was in two minds whether he was actually going to go. It was with relatively new friends, so I encouraged him and said, go on, meet some new people. Mm-hmm. And, nothing strange to think about. It was quite late that he went out, met some people in a pub for a drink beforehand, and then went on to this birthday party. He was in communication with me throughout some of the evening, just because I wasn't sure if he was going to stay out late.
Sure.
Or if he needed to be picked up.
Like any 22-year-old.
Yeah.
That's kind of classic behaviour.
Yeah, but Jack was very good at communicating.
Uh-huh.
It was at 5:25. I just woke with a bit of a start and just had a sense that something was wrong.
Mother's instinct.
Yeah, so I went straight into his room and his light was on because I'd left it on, bed unslept in. And
investigators continued their work behind the scenes. They examined every possible lead, reviewed more CCTV footage, checked transportation records, and spoke to anyone who might have seen Jack that night. But despite the extensive investigation, they found no concrete answers. One of the most haunting aspects of the case is how ordinary the circumstances were. Jack wasn't in a dangerous area, he wasn't involved in any known conflicts, and there was no indication that he was in distress. He was simply walking home after a night out, something thousands of young people do every weekend. The case also highlighted how quickly someone can disappear, even in a modern city with extensive surveillance and communication networks. Bristol is a well-populated, well-connected urban area, and yet a young man could walk down a street and never be seen again. The emotional impact of Jack's disappearance has been immense. His parents, friends, and the wider Bristol community have been living with uncertainty and fear. Every new lead raises hopes, and every dead end deepens the pain. In interviews, Jack's family has described their struggle with the unknown. Not knowing what happened is its own form of torment. There is no closure, no explanation, just a void. They have spoken about waking up every day hoping for news, hoping that today will be the day they finally get answers. The case has also drawn national media attention. Newspapers, TV programs, and online news outlets have followed the story closely. Jack's face has become a symbol of hope and heartbreak. In many ways, Jack's disappearance has also opened broader conversations about safety, surveillance, and the gaps in how missing person cases are investigated. It has raised awareness about how crucial the first 48 hours are, how community involvement can help, and how technology can both help and fall short. Months after his disappearance, Avon and Somerset Police issued renewed appeals for information. They assured the public that the investigation was ongoing and that every piece of evidence was being examined carefully. But they also admitted that without new information, progress was limited. In the background, private investigators and volunteer groups also joined the effort. Some used mapping software to identify areas that hadn't been searched thoroughly. Others worked to amplify Jack's story internationally. Today, Jack O'Sullivan's case remains one of Bristol's most mysterious and heartbreaking disappearances. A young man walked out into the night and was swallowed by silence. For his family, friends, and the wider community, the question remains: what happened to Jack? The search for Jack O'Sullivan is not just about finding a missing person, it is about finding the truth. It is about giving a family the closure they deserve. It is about ensuring that no one simply vanishes without a trace. Somewhere out there is a piece of information, a moment, a clue that could unlock the mystery of that early morning in March 2024. and until it is found, the search will go on.